It's only day 7, folks.
But it feels much longer.
But it feels like it's day 15.
We are 5 days into the Idaho BDR, a bucket list trip for Chris and I. So far, we've survived the desert, raced the rivers, fought with closed roads, almost run out of gas, and found the forgotten parts of Idaho. We're now heading into the most remote roads in Idaho and possibly the lower 48 states. These next 2 days bring some of the biggest surprises of the entire 1,200-mile journey. Our minds and some of our rear lockers are about to be blown. The Salmon River, also known as a river of no return, rushes 124 miles down the spine of Idaho and gives the sense that despite all that's going on in the world, the earth is still thriving.
Last night was just amazing on this river. The temperature was perfect. Slept with all the windows open in the tent. Had the sound of the river all night. And this morning is just as good. Today we're going to change terrains in a major way. We're going to go from this beautiful, serene river setting to the Magruder Corridor. The Magruder Corridor is a big feature of the BDR for me anyway. Essentially, it runs between 2 wilderness areas and is probably the most remote road in the US. So we're going to swing up to Elk City, probably get some gas there, maybe resupply a little bit, and then head out to Magruder and cross the state of Idaho until we get to Darby, Montana. So we're packing up camp and we're headed to Elk City and then to the Magruder Corridor.
It's going to be kind of tough. It was really hard to pack up today, not because we were tired or anything like that, but because it's such a great spot.
Now, Magruder Corridor we think is open. Called ahead, I've been looking at the notices. It was closed a while for snow. There was too much snow and rigs couldn't get through. Then some motorcycles got through, it looked like. Maybe some side-by-sides got through. So we're thinking with the warmer weather, we'll probably be okay. But honestly, we don't know what to expect. Should be interesting.
I'm ready when you guys are. I'm ready! Also, I can't think about the Magruder Corridor without also thinking about Saturday Night Live. Magruder! You're welcome for that.
For the dust, sorry. I just forgot they were on.
She wanted to let me know my lights were on. It was probably blinding her with my bumper lights.
With only a few blinded incoming rigs, we made our way across the Salmon River as we headed towards the road that would take us to the mountains.
That is a beautiful bridge. This actual pavement? This is pavement. I don't know how long we'll stay on the pavement though. It looks like we're going to cut up into these mountains here in just a second. It's driving me nuts. Yar. You know about the driving me nuts joke, right, Rob? No, I don't. A pirate goes into a doctor's office and he's got a ship's steering wheel sticking out of his pants. And the doctor says to him, well, what's the problem? The pirate says, yar, I got a big pain in me groin. And the doctor says, well, you got the ship's steering wheel sticking out of your pants. And the pirate says, yar, it's driving me nuts. Okay, I like that. So whenever somebody says, it's driving me nuts, I would say yar. Every once in a while, man. Okay, Grangeville, 67. Oh man, that's a great view of the river down there.
As we climbed farther away from the river, we were also getting farther away from, well, just about everywhere. As the scenery started to give way to thicker woods, we soon learned that this stretch of trail was not like the rest.
So we're winding our way through this beautiful mountain pass on our way to Elk City, and I heard there's a ghost town out here somewhere. So I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for it. It's called Florence. I don't know if there's any structures. I think maybe there's a cemetery. So anyway, we're gonna keep our eyes peeled, and if we see something, we're gonna stop.
Do you have enough room to pass? I'm not gonna fit through there.
Just stopping real quick to cut a branch and make room for Sir Robert to get by.
I wonder if the BDR folks did that for their motorcycles.
But maybe to keep tundras out. Pretty sure this is an anti-tundra measure, Rob.
Well, I think a tundra would fit through.
Oh,
Oh, there, yeah.
those are widowmakers right there.
Yeah, so up there you could hear a tree creaking and cracking, and there's a dead one that is kind of leaning up against the live one, and they're swaying in the wind. So probably the sooner we get out of here, the better.
How about we get the heck out of here?
Yeah, should we knock this down and cut it?
Nick my fingers again.
Did you hear that?
Well, can't. It's wedged between that tree and that tree.
Yeah. Look at this! What a show off. Yeah, I would not javelin it.
Okay, let's go. Nicely done, Rob. That was a tight squeeze.
If there's some more tight trail.
I feel like this is the smuggler's route.
As we got deeper into the woods, we felt a sense of danger for the first time, like this forest didn't want us there for some reason.
Man, there is a crap ton of trees there that fell down. I have never seen so many downed trees. It's just a weird place. It's like something's wrong here that all the trees are down.
It's funny you say that. I think I'm gonna need the chainsaw again.
I feel like we're on the way to Grandma's house in the deep dark woods right now. Does that mean there's a big black wolf out there? Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. It's a beautiful forest, but it's kind of eerie.
As we got closer to where the ghost town of Florence might be, it felt like some of the ghosts hadn't wandered too far from the town.
It feels spooky. I'm not kidding. It feels like there's something in these woods. The trees are creaking in the wind. There is a million downed trees everywhere. There's little weird kind of high-pitched whistling and I don't know, not really a shriek, but just kind of high-pitched noises coming from the woods. You really can't see anything. It's a mix of like dead trees and alive trees, so it's almost like there's something out there watching you. It's cool, but it's I'm a little wary. The hairs on my neck are standing up just a little bit.
There's a guy down here, and the first thing he asked me is, "Are you guys all gold prospecting?"
Well, let's just be real nice to him.
Yeah, I had a good little chat with him. He said his brother's got a claim out here, but hasn't had any luck finding any gold yet.
I think I just saw a sign that said like Main Street, Old Florence. Uh-oh. Rob looks like he's stuck in the mud. I've got a sinking feeling about this.
Hold on, I'm just switching to low.
Nicely done. It might be worse now that you've gone through it and tore it up.
He's just making excuses in case the Jeep gets stuck and the Toyota didn't.
I'm doing no such thing.
I see now why it's called Quicksand Road, though.
No problem. Rear lock for low. I may just use my locker. And my rear locker failed.
So angry right now. These guys didn't do a single thing right on my rig. Not a single thing.
Leaking air like a sieve is so frustrating. Just hope we don't hit anything later that needs my rear locker to work. Remind me to buy a Rubicon next time. Buy a Rubicon next time. I hope there's a ghost town on the end of this rainbow. Looks like we are in Florence.
So we made it to Florence Ghost Town. It was a bit of a trek to get here through like the deep dark woods. And the cool thing is there are some structures here. So we're just gonna have a quick bite to eat and I'm gonna go check some of these places out.
Turns out there was still some of Florence left to see. This rough and tumble gold rush boomtown was settled in 1861 as the first county seat in Idaho and has enough stories to fill its own video episode.
Let me out.
The town quickly faded after miners sucked the earth of any precious metals, and by 1951 it was abandoned and started a slow decay. The structures that are left, though, give you an idea of what life in Florence might have been like back in the 1860s.
We have been down these forgotten roads, these kind of ghost forests to get here, and it really feels like we're nowhere. But Florence used to be somewhere. Florence used to be a place that brought people together. It was a county seat, had the state's first school, the first library, the first Masonic temple. All those things happened here, out in the middle of nowhere. So it's really hard to imagine how much things have changed from then to now, because there are no structures left other than what we saw, and now it's just a bunch of old trees. It really puts things into perspective to come out here and see these old structures and realize this was actually a really important piece of Idaho history.
Just a short drive from town, we found the old cemetery with tombstones that told even more stories of Florence.
So we're here in the Florence cemetery. This was a total surprise to us. There's all these wooden headstones everywhere. Some of them are marked unknown. Some of them are marked with the person who passed away at the time, back in the late 1800s mostly. There's stories about how people died. There's exhumed graves of Chinese workers. And it really, really paints a picture. I've never been to a cemetery like this. And one of the most haunting things is that all the headstones are the same wooden cutout with different names on it. And it gives you this feeling that we're all the same in the end. We came to Florence, we saw Florence, and now we're headed towards Elk City again. So hopefully we can find some good trails where we can make up some time and get into Magruder tonight. It would be really awesome to be able to get there tonight. If we can't, we can't, but we're gonna try.
I think this is the kind of road that my suspension is made for. Have I mentioned I'm having a lot of fun on this road yet?
Yeah, I believe we're on road 221, and it looks like we stay on this road for quite a while. Behold the splendor of Elk City.
Oh, is this it?
Okay, we just hit Elk City and we got some gas, so we're good to go for another 200 miles or so. And we're airing down right now because we're about to hit the Magruder Corridor. And it's one of the most, if not the most, remote roads in the entire US, in the entire lower 48. It splits two protected wilderness areas, and there's only one road for about 5 million acres or something like that. It's incredible. So I have no idea what we're gonna find when we get in there. I hope we find a campsite because we're all really, really tired. But we're gonna give it a go and we're gonna start Magruder. We'll see how far we get and see what we find.
Magruder, here we come.
Magruder immediately defied our expectations. We found ourselves traveling through an immense scorched area, with fields of bear grass thriving at the feet of the ghost trees. It was almost as if the bear grass had come to pay their respects to the lost forest.
Bouncing rays through the dapple shadows. Light was pouring down upon the stepping stones. Felt like morning coming for his throne. I don't know why, but it looked like a tiger striped sky. Half the world was pulling on its colors. As nights turned to day to the hours. Glow was coming down, coming down. I don't know why, but it felt like a tiger striped sky.
Rob is cooking dinner tonight, and ooh la la, look at this beautiful pasta meal for one he's made.
Made from scratch, homemade Alfredo sauce, homemade chicken garlic ravioli.
It was somebody made it. Someone made it. Made by humans.
Yes.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Probably not. Well, I'm grateful for any food cooked by someone else on the trail. Thank you, Rob. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Very filling. Hopefully.
The sun setting over the wildlands of Idaho, and the skeletons of trees to keep us company. It was quiet as a graveyard at camp, and we slept like the dead.
I forgot to drink my whiskey last night. Wow. That does not make a good breakfast. It's worth it over this. Just the smell.
We are right here, thereabouts. So it's a beautiful morning here on the Magruder Corridor. It was cold last night. So the night before we were on the Salmon River and it was like 100 degrees and maybe 75 degrees at night. And last night it had to be down into the 30s. It was really cold, so we were all kind of zipped up and had layers on to stay warm at night. But today, we're gonna keep trekking through this road, which is one of the most remote, if not the most remote road in the entire US, lower 48. We can get 80 miles in here and 20 miles in here, I think we'll be happy. And then tomorrow we can finish to Lolo and start making our way towards Wallace. I'm super excited to get going. Everybody's in good spirits. We were all a little tired last night, so we went to bed early. Everyone got a good rest last night, and we're like itching to hit the road again, so I can't wait to get going. Being in the middle of the Magruder Corridor in the daytime feels big. You can feel the history of this old Nez Perce Native American trail at every turn. And the road, which is mostly unimproved, gets so little traffic, it stays in pretty good shape. We're about to take a turn off to the Green Mountain Fire Lookout, which I don't know if it's still manned or not. So it'll be really interesting to get up there and see if there's anybody else up there. If not, it still looks like a pretty great view, so we're gonna go check it out.
It does not look manned.
So we're here at the Green Mountain Fire Lookout, and it's beautiful. For the first time since we got to the Magruder, we get a pretty expansive view of the Bitterroot Mountains to the north, the Clearwater Mountains that we're headed towards to cross later today. And it's clear why they picked this as a fire lookout spot, because you do truly have an incredible perspective. This fire lookout is closed. There's a sign on the gate that says, "Danger, do not enter." The gate is not locked, but that doesn't mean that you should go up there. So we're not gonna climb up, even though it looks very inviting. The wood looks new, the paint looks new. It almost looks like it's a manned fire station, but there's clearly nobody here and all the windows are shuttered. So now it's time to head back down a little bit and make it over to the Clearwater Mountains.
And next time we do the Magruder, we know where to camp. Yeah, I think so. I think that would be a great campsite.
From the lookout, we pushed east through more amazing countryside. It was a beautiful day and we had the road all to ourselves. Well, almost.
Is that a Jeep coming up?
We have a Jeep coming up.
Woohoo!
Just stopped and chatted with another Jeep that was coming over this direction. Hey, you guys coming over from Darby?
No, we just went up and stayed up to Burnt Knob.
So they didn't have any news on the pass, but they did say that we should go to this place called Burnt Knob Lookout.
And that is a rough SOB.
I was looking on that on the map and I thought, oh, maybe I'll camp up there.
You got to get up there, get up to Burnt Knob.
Okay.
That's the best.
Seriously.
It's on the list. Yeah, have a great trip. Stay safe. All right.
You be safe.
All right, I will. Thanks. We're gonna go take a look at it, and they said it was definitely worth checking out. So we're giving it a go. But if it's one of those things that's gonna take all day, I think we might get back to the trail because we got to get into Montana today.
It actually doesn't look like it's too far off the trail. It's about 1.6 miles off the trail.
Yeah, but it's that little, no point in not doing it.
Yep, unless it's one of those 1.6 miles that takes all day. Okay, going for it. I'm gonna kick it into 4 low real quick.
When they said four-wheel drive vehicles, they meant it.
I think I very lightly scuffed a slider for the first time on this trail.
All right, I just want to stop a sec and check in. Is this a fool's errand? I don't know, we're not moving very fast.
I haven't seen anywhere to turn around anyway, but yeah, I think this is gonna be slow going.
Man, you have to earn like every inch of this trail. Think we're getting pretty close, Will? No, I do not. It looks like we're like 60% of the way there. Yeah, if it's just like a spot like this, only higher, then I'm for turning around.
If we're like 2/3 of the way there, we might as well keep going.
Chris, you okay with that? Yeah, that's fine.
Looks like it's got lakes off down below it, so it could be quite spectacular. I love watching you guys go between like the 2 large rocks, and then when I get there, I just have to drive over them.
I think it's pretty spectacular up there. You guys see up and to our left, there's like that, it's like a cabin.
That's probably the fire lookout.
Yeah, but they don't even have to put it like on any posts or anything. It's just out there.
That was a lot of effort, but I think that was worth coming up.
So we're at the edge of this, I don't know, 800-foot cliff, 3 lakes below, and it's just one of the most incredible sights I've ever seen. Out in the distance you can see Clearwater Mountains. But what's great about the view up here is you can see layers and layers and layers and layers of land. It feels like we made a wrong turn when we started, but man, is this worth it. I'm gonna fall. Yeah. we're trying to experience this and film it without dying. And there are moments where I feel like that could really happen, the dying part, especially when you're wearing flip-flops. So, note to self, next time you come to a mountain ledge, wear closed-toed shoes.
Maybe we should make some like overland flip-flops.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but that was worth every second of the drive.
Agree, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Chris, my odometer's showing 784 miles so far. Oh, that's very cool.
With 2 fire towers and 1 rough road under our belt, we were starting to get a feel for this trail, like we belonged here.
The road's much nicer up here. That is, besides the odd tree sticking out the side.
We've been through a lot of burned forest, and this forest was also burned. But there's a ton of new growth, so it's like it's a new forest, just a baby forest. It's nice to see that. Even after all we'd seen today, Magruder still had one more thing to show us. Maybe the most important thing of all.
This is probably a significant spot, I'm assuming.
Yes, it is. Is this the murder spot? Yes, it is.
So this is the spot that marks the Magruder Massacre, which is how this trail, this road, the most remote road that we know of, got its name. Magruder was a merchant who wanted to go to Montana to take advantage of the mining commerce that was happening there. So he took his whole posse, he took all these goods, he made a bunch of money in Montana, but he waited too long to come back. He didn't come back until October. And by that time, all of his posse had kind of already gone back because of the snows, and he had to hire new people. Well, these new people that he hired were unscrupulous. And about 5.5 miles away from this point is where, in the middle of the night, they brutally murdered them with axes and shotguns, took their bodies and dumped them in a ravine, stole all their money, and fled. However, this is not a story about murder. I think this is a story about friendship, because Magruder's friend thought something was off. These guys came back, they had lots of money, they seemed a little off, and he said, "Where's Magruder?" They said, "Who's Magruder?" He said, No, I don't believe you." And so they fled, they went to California. He went to the deputies and he said, "I think something happened to Magruder, he's my friend, I want to do something about it right now." And they said, "We'll deputize you." So he chased them down all the way to San Francisco, found one of their party that confessed to the murders, brought them all back to Idaho, and they hanged him for the murder of Magruder. Even after justice was served, he knew that the bodies were out here in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the wilderness. And he took a party and he went out and he searched and searched and searched until they found the bodies and gave them proper burials. That's why we call this road Magruder, and we talk about the massacre, but really, I like the story because it's really, it's about justice, it's about friendship, and it's about doing what's right. with our minds sufficiently blown by everything we did today, all that was left was to get to Darby, and then to the Lolo Motorway. So we started laying down the dust.
Wow, this is like such a different trail than we've had. That's totally different.
So we are driving through this super windy, almost like jungly, overgrown part of the Magruder, and I'm trying to catch up to the guys. It's almost like a Mario Kart race or something like that, but it's a ton of fun. It's really nice to just have these Jeeps that do so well off-road, throw them in four-wheel high and let her rip. Well, we just hit pavement.
It's around 5 o'clock, and we're still hoping to head into the Lolo Pass after hitting Darby. So, but I think we're going to be making camp kind of late tonight.
This is your friendly reminder to take your rig out of four-wheel drive if you have not already.
Appears we're going on the paved road, so I'm going to pull up here and air up.
Well, Chris, we did it. We did the Magruder, something that's been on our bucket list for a long time.
Yeah, it feels pretty great. But the adventure continues.
Still got Lolo.
Yep.
And God knows what else is north of Lolo.
Yeah, Wallace.
Wallace, I can't wait for Wallace. Oh my God,
Wallace.
so many good stories there.
Yeah, and in beautiful Canada.
It's only day 7, folks.
But it feels much longer.
But it feels like it's day 15. So we just pulled in to this little campsite to air up our tires before we hit Darby. And we pulled in and we noticed, actually Chris noticed, that there is a fire that's still smoldering. You can see the smoke coming out of it. So whoever's here last left this fire essentially still going. It's something that we all need to be mindful of. Make sure that your fire is dead out. There's no smolder, there's no smoke. It's totally, totally dead. Otherwise, this could start another wildfire like we saw across the Magruder Corridor.
We're in Montana now.
Feels different here, more buffalo-y. Looks like we're coming into Darby here pretty quick. Okay, I see it.
26 and a half. Rob wins. So we were having a contest to see who needed the most gas. Rob wins, but he didn't fill up last time with us, so actually he probably wins both ways. So up there you can see there's a new forest fire. It was just to the south of us. We didn't see it until we got to Darby. See that fire, Chris?
Just started.
Just started. We just came through there, man. But it's about 12,000 acre forest fire. So let's hope we can squeeze through without any of these things affecting our travel. We're gonna go get dinner in Darby, and then we're gonna be night driving into the Lolo Motorway. Rob's got some spots he knows about 20 miles in, so we're gonna trust him to lead the way and do some night wheeling on the Lolo. Let's go.
When you've been focused on driving for 10 straight hours, you're tired. We were tired, but drove on. After dinner, we hit Highway 93 north up to Lolo, Montana, then started back west on Highway 12 with a quick stop before hitting dirt again. So we're here at the Locksaw Lodge, which is the last gas stop before the Lolo Motorway. It's 9:30 at night right now. It's definitely getting dark. The sun has set. We probably have 20 minutes of light left before it gets dark out here. I'm a little nervous. But I'm really excited. I'm a little tired because it's late and I just don't know what to expect. So let's go find out.
And now we're turning onto Lolo, the Lolo Motorway. There we go.
It got dark fast, really dark. Rob was leading the way because he'd driven this stretch before, and even though we were tired, we stayed together and found some spots to squeeze in a little more fun on the trail.
So it's about 11 o'clock at night. We just got into camp. We found the first campsite that we thought we were going to, we decided was a little bit too small for everybody. So Rob found this alternate, which is great. We're all kind of packed in here, but we're close together, which is good. There's enough room for everybody. It feels like there might be bears right outside the woods looking at us, so we're a little nervous about that. But we're just setting up camp, and we're gonna go read a sign together. But we have kind of a rule, like always have a headlamp, have your bear spray on you just in case. Yeah, double fisting bear spray all the time. Pew, pew, pew. Rob's seen some deer and some things. I haven't seen anything yet, but I will say that probably nothing's gonna happen. My logical brain knows that, but my emotional brain is also just a little bit scared because we're in the deep, 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 dark woods. All right, we decided to walk and go read a sign in the night, which is the only thing we have left to do tonight.
Do you have a bourbon?
Besides bourbon. Definitely we earned a bourbon today. All right, Snowbank Camp.
Actually camped here.
Lewis and Clark?
Lewis and Clark camped here, yeah.
Seems like an awfully small camp. Maybe it's bigger than it was, or maybe it was bigger than it is now. Got my water and my Garmin and my bear spray. These are the core essentials. Time for bed. And there is a forest fire that just started. You're gonna be Lewis or Clark?
I want to be Clark.
Okay,
he was less crazy.
I'm a little more crazy. That makes sense.